What's up, everybody? Here with Joe Grinwis, aka Panda, talking Week 8 betting lines, and I'm still angry we didn't do a show last week. You're my proof. 11-2 combined Sunday and Monday night, but I'm feeling good this week, ready to blow my winnings. So, how you doing, man?
A lot worse than you. You had a great week last week. I'm
Yeah.
pissed we didn't do the show. Everyone could have saw your great bets. I would have cost people money. It was the worst week I've had all season, so it was good for me. But this week I'm ready to bounce back.
All right, and for those that watch this video right away, you got a couple bets tonight. If you go on DraftKings, they're having this Halloween special. I guess you opt in, you get some kind of odds boost. I got Oklahoma State and Texas. Pick them for the money line plus 200. So I rolled with Oklahoma State. You could bet $25 on that to win 50. Also, Uriah Hall, he's boosted on FanDuel plus 200 for the knockout. I think Anderson Silva, he's kind of way past his prime. So I'm putting my money on Uriah Hall. Made some money on Khabib last week by submission. So with that, we'll start with the Jets and Chiefs. And Joe, we tried, me and Tyson, we tried breaking this game down last night. I was getting ripped to shreds. I think the Jets are going to cover somehow with the 19.5. But the story of this game, it's Le'Veon Bell, revenge game against his old team. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to carry the ball in the second half. So I love the over 39.5 yards for him rushing, over 11.5 receiving. Scoring a touchdown is even at plus 100, even 2 touchdowns at plus 650. I kind of like McCole Hardman, 29.5 yards. I love the over there with Sammy Watkins out. And then for the Jets, give me Sam Darnold all day to top 203.5 yards. Yes, Perriman's out, Crowder's out, but Mims, I thought, looked phenomenal last week. You have Vincent Smith and Jeff Smith with your speed guys out there. Berrios is okay in the slot. So I think the Jets are probably going to be down. Sam's going to be slinging it in the second half. So give me the over all day with him.
I love a lot of things in this game. I also love Le'Veon Bell. I got him at over 41.5 rushing yards. It did open at 39.5. I didn't get it till 41.5. It's stayed there since. Maybe it goes up a yard, but I think that's going to hit easily. Also, Le'Veon, anytime touchdown scorer. Love that as well. Took those two and parlayed them in a same game parlay on FanDuel with a LaMichael Perine touchdown for the Jets, or Pirine, I'm sorry. And Kansas City minus 9.5. You get plus 1,500 odds. $10 pays 150. You could put more on that if you want. Same game parlay on FanDuel. And remember, you get the $10 back free from FanDuel every week.
Yep.
So I like that a lot. Other bets that I like on this, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say I already used my refund on Thursday night for the same game parlay.
Yeah, no, I saved it for this one. And then I did another one. Because I love the same game parlay on FanDuel, and I did another one with the Chiefs again, bought down to minus 9.5. Patrick Mahomes over 21.5 rushing yards. Jets let up a lot of rushing yards to quarterbacks, and Mahomes likes to move. So I think that's an easy pay. Tyreek Hill over 64.5 receiving yards. He should have an 80-yard bomb in this one. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown score. And then for the Jets, Braxton Berrios, over 38.5 receiving yards. In almost every game that he's played when Jamison Crowder's out, except for one, which was last Sunday, he has eclipsed 38.5 receiving yards. The one time being last Sunday, he had 35. He was close. Kansas City's a worse defense. I expect him to get yardage. And Denzel Mims, over 42.5 receiving yards. I think that's going to be an easy pay. As you said, Perriman's out. Crowder's out. This offense is going to run through Berrios and Mims. It's not going to run through Jeff Smith. At least I hope not. So give me that overs all day.
And there's probably no Frank Gore to run the offense through as well. So I mean, that's working in their favor too.
Let's hope, man. And that's why I like Pirine to score a touchdown.
And yeah, dude, also on the same game parlays, I'm thinking the same as you, but I like McCole Hardman going over with the touchdown, Bell going over with the touchdown. You throw in Sam, those $3 to win 125. And then if you add in the Jets over 13.5, which I think they will score 2 touchdowns in this game. So I love the Jets going over. The game itself, I love going over because the Chiefs are probably going to score minimum, high 30s. So over 49. And then you add in the final spot, whether it's Herndon plus 700 on the touchdown. You mentioned Berrios plus 290, Mims plus 300. You can even get Wesco at plus 2,400, which is kind of interesting. Throw a quarter on any one of those, you get 100 to 1 odds. So I think those are pretty good odds for same game.
Absolutely. And as far as the spread goes, I'm not taking the Chiefs at minus 19.5. I think it's too big. I think, and I know that's crazy to say because we've been blown out in so many games. I mean, the Dolphins beat us 24-0. So it's crazy to say, but the Chiefs defense, you don't know what you're going to get. If we get the good Chiefs defense, which I doubt we will, they kind of only seem to show up when the bright lights come on, and the bright lights ain't going to be on for this shit show of a game. Bingo. So, I think we get the shitty Chiefs defense. I think this game has, like 38-17 written all over it, which that would cover actually, but 35, 38, 17. It's going to be too close for me for comfort. That's why I bought it down to 9.5 in two same game parlays. And then I bought it down to 13.5 in another.
Nice. Yeah. Last night when we were doing final scores, I said 38-27. I just have a funny feeling the offense is gonna, kind of force the issue a little bit. They're gonna have to put up points knowing what the Chiefs are gonna be able to do to our defense. So
That's good for
it'll be
Mims and
interesting.
Barrios on the over.
Exactly. Exactly. So next up, we got Colts -3 at Detroit, over under at 49.5. Lions, they're at 3-3. They've been, competitive in pretty much all but one game this year. A loss to the Packers. Should have lost last week though to Atlanta. Colts are 4-2. Pretty much a soft schedule though for them. I'm rolling with Indy here. T.Y. Hilton, he says he's close to breaking out. I'm going to believe him. Over 3.5 catches at -180 on FanDuel. Over 4.5 catches on DraftKings is +120. I like both of those. I also like him going over 47.5 yards. Scoring a touchdown is 2-1 odds, so I like that as well. He's just too good, I think, to suck all year. So again, Colts cover with Hilton going over in yards and a touchdown. You can get that on the same game parlay, 7-1.
I too love T.Y. Hilton in this one, score touchdown +180, but I also like on the Lions, TJ Hawkinson to score +190. Hawkinson's been scoring a lot recently. Matthew Stafford's a very reliable target for Matthew Stafford. So I like him in this matchup against the Colts defense, who is one of the best in the league. Yes, they're getting Darius Leonard back, but you know what? The Lions, they have too many options. They've got Marvin Jones, they got Kenny Galladay, I should say. TJ Hawkinson scored touchdown +190. T.Y. Hilton score +180. And I love the Colts -3. I think they win this game by 7 or more. I really do. I think the Colts come out. I think, the bye week's going to serve this team well, getting Darius Leonard back. I think they win this game somewhere around 28-17.
All right. We're sharing a brain so far. I like it. We'll see if it changes here, because usually you and I don't see well on when it comes to Cleveland. I never trust them against good teams, and the Raiders, they've played somewhat well this year. They've lost 2 out of 3, but they've played Tampa, KC, and the Bills with a win over Kansas City in there. Browns, no Chubb, no Beckham, so I'm leaning with Vegas here. I do like Jarvis Landry as far as the props go. Over 51.5 yards, that's a primary option. I love that. Over 4.5 catches, you can get that at plus odds at +115 on DraftKings. So I'm also going to play it safe with the Raiders. You can get them at +7.5 at -270 to throw in some parlays. I think they could win this game. It wouldn't shock me though if the Browns won, but if they do, it's going to be a 1-score game. So play it safe, 7.5. But if you want to take a risk, go with the Raiders money line.
Man, I love the Browns -2.5.
I knew it.
The Brownies, man, they've been good to me all year. Last week they pushed. I got them at 3 before it went to 3.5. So last week, full disclosure, I got a push on that one, but unfortunately, the Falcons screwed up that one. So rest in peace to that parlay. But yeah, I love the Browns -2.5 in this one. The rain is going to be falling. So let's take Josh Jacobs -120 to score. I think that's a great one. And Kareem Hunt -190 to score. I think those are, free money. You could same game parlay that up with Cleveland -2.5 and hey, win some money, as the Browns are going to win, baby. It's all about the Browns. Keep riding the Browns for now. Now they're not going to win in January, but for now, keep riding the Browns.
I'll trust your weather plays on Jacobs and Kareem Hunt. I like that though.
Yep, I believe I saw 30 degrees with rain and wind.
Oof. Sets up well for a nice ground. All right, next up, and this game is interesting. Rams -3 at Miami. I'm sure you're not taking Miami after they just benched Fitzpatrick, but I love the Rams so much here. I've almost talked myself out of it, watching the line move the other way. It was at 4.5 earlier in the week. It's down to 3 now on some sites. I can't for the life of me figure it out. Again, these are the games you usually worry about because it's moving in the opposite direction after what I thought was initially a low line. Again, what's there not to like about the Rams in this game? It's Tua's first start against a top flight defense. Aaron Donald should be in his face all day. Ramsey's having a defensive player of the year type first half. I trust McVay on the other side to at least engineer a few good drives. So again, I'm rolling with the Rams here all day. Old reliable Cooper Kupp, 58.5 yards. I like him on that. Over 5.5 catches. You get that at plus odds. Touchdown +195. Again, give me the Rams.
Yeah, man, we're going to disagree back to back on this one. Give me the Miami Dolphins. And you know why? I do have hate in my heart for them. 1, because of the Dan Marino days that I grew up around. And 2, for what they did to Fitzmagic. It's very sad. But you know what?
I'm shocked you're betting on him.
He did not have a great game against the Jets. And I think all along their plan was to put Tua in at the bye week. And when it got screwed up and moved up due to the COVID rescheduling of games, I think they just said, screw it. We're going to stick with our plan. We're going to go with it. He must be doing well in practice enough. Fitz wasn't exactly lighting it up. He had 2 weeks earlier against the Niners. He did. Niners were hurt. Really just one great game from Fitz. You know that eventually, as much as I love him,
Yep.
eventually he's going to have a bad game. They're going to nip that in the butt right away. And it kind of set up cool, and I'll hurry up on this, but it kind of set up cool for Miami, how with the bye week with the Jets, how the schedule originally was, we were playing them, then we both had a bye week, then we were playing them again. So it kind of would have been good for the Jets to have to prepare. It kind of would have screwed them up for two different quarterbacks, would have gave Miami an advantage, but not for anything anymore. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I love Miami. I took them plus 3.5. I also took them on the money line. I have a parlay I know we haven't talked about it yet, but Miami and Pittsburgh on a parlay money line with a 20% odds boost on DraftKings. I love it. I think it's going to hit. Give me Miami all day, and give me Mike Gesicki to score a touchdown plus 280. That's going to be Tua's guy in the red zone.
Damn it. I hate that you're picking Miami because I love the Rams so much, but at the same time, again, watching the line move the other way, it's kind of making me back off a little bit and feel like you're probably right on that one.
I'll tell you the one thing, the second most bet right now in Vegas, supposedly this week, the second most bet line is Rams minus 3.5.
That's usually not a good
And
sign either when the public's that. Yep.
I will never sit with the Rams after they screwed me against the 49ers a few weeks ago on Sunday Night Football. I told myself no more betting on the Rams the rest of the year. I stayed away from the Rams Bears game last week. Didn't matter anyway.
That's your fault for not listening to me.
Well. The
Next up,
Bears are bouncing back this week. We'll talk about that later.
That I agree. That's one we'll agree on. Next up, we got Vikings plus 6 at Green Bay, over under at 49. Very confident in Green Bay here. Vikings are selling off pieces, just traded Ngakoue. Cousins, he's been terrible. Rodgers and Adams, they were on fire last week. I think it probably continues this week. So give me Green Bay to cover the 6. Also, with Aaron Jones out, I love Jamal Williams over 65.5. I think that's a lock, incredibly low number. I also like him scoring a touchdown at minus 125. Packers offense, I think it easily tops 400 yards. So even Aaron Rodgers over 269.5, I feel pretty comfortable with. Devontae Adams, 86.5 yards. I think that's a little bit high, even though I do think it's possible he gets 100. But yeah, Adams scoring a touchdown, minus 145. I think that's decent odds if you want to combine that in some parlays. And also Robert Tonyan to score. He hasn't scored since week 3, his 3 touchdown game. I think he finally gets back in at plus 240.
Well, the public is big on this one because while I said the Rams minus 3.5 was the second most bet, the first most bet is Green Bay minus 6.5, but I love it too. I love it too. I would have taken them at 7. I would take him now at 6.5. I don't see where the love for Minnesota is coming from. I really don't. Green Bay took care of them in their own stadium week 1 with relative ease. I think they're going to do it again. I love Green Bay minus 6.5. They're in my big parlay of the week. And I love Devontae Adams plus 410 to score 2 touchdowns. Why not? He scored 2 touchdowns against them earlier in the season. Devontae Adams kills the Vikings. He's going to continue to do it. He's the best receiver in football, hands down, in my opinion, if not second or third. He's definitely top 3, but I would say number 1 right now, the way he's playing and his value to Green Bay. I'm going Devontae Adams plus 410 all the way to score 2 touchdowns, and I'm going Green Bay all the way. They're going to win this game by 2 touchdowns easily.
I agree. And on the 2 DFS teams I did so far, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, both my quarterback wide receiver combinations that I'm paying the top money to. So expecting big games from both of them. Next up, we got the Pats plus 4 at Buffalo, over under kind of low at 40.5. Buffalo didn't look good last week against the Jets, still won by 8 points. Patriots looked awful against Jimmy G and the Niners. Talk of, Belichick kind of entering the tank talk, realizing he needs a quarterback. I still think Buffalo's just the far better team here, playing at home. Patriots defense, they haven't been the same. Their offense is a mess right now. I'm not a huge fan of the props in this game and what's expected to be a low-scoring game, but I will take Allen scoring a touchdown at plus 165, and I also like him going over 33.5 on the rushing yards. And again, Bills covering the 4. I think they cover it easily.
I'm staying away from this game entirely. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in this one. I know New England has played terribly, but Buffalo has as well, in my opinion. Yes, the Jets defense stepped up and made a few plays last weekend, but Buffalo still is not capitalizing. They're not putting the ball in the end zone, and they weren't doing that prior to the Jets either. So I'm staying away from this one. I think this is a field goal game that could go either way. I know New England's been terrible, but I can't believe that it's going to continue. And maybe that's just post Brady, like postpartum, psychological problems. I don't know what's going on, but Yeah, I'm not doing it. So Cam Newton plus 150 to score a touchdown. I love that. And also Josh Allen plus 165 to score a touchdown. I think they're both going to score rushing touchdowns in this game. I think the Pats get back to their running ways against this terrible Buffalo defense. So yeah, give me Cam Newton and Josh Allen both to score rushing touchdowns. But other than that, I'm staying away from this one.
All right, next up, and I got a strong feeling we're going to disagree on this one. Steelers plus 4.5 at Baltimore, over under set at 46.5. Baltimore was a favorite over KC, and I couldn't figure out why earlier in the year. They got blown out of that game. I'm asking myself the same thing right now. Steelers are undefeated, even though their schedule hasn't really been, a huge challenge yet. I just feel like the line's being set high. I think it was 6 or 6.5 to open up during the week. So something tells me that there's strong belief that the Ravens are going to win. I do think their D matches up with, some of what the Steelers do well with yards after the catch, but Pittsburgh's D has been solid too. So I could see this kind of being one of those old school games where the field goal decides it at the end. So I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh here. To play it safe, if you look on FanDuel, they have the odds boost. You can get the Steelers plus 9.5 with the Raiders 8.5 and the Packers at plus 0.5. So basically a pick 'em boosted to plus 230. I absolutely love that. I'm probably going to throw 50 on that. I also, again, I trust Pittsburgh in a close game. So if you want to buy them up to, 7.5, I think that would be smart too. And Ben Roethlisberger going over 249.5. I think that's a solid bet, especially if you do think Pittsburgh might be playing from behind late. This is one of the few games where they're playing against a team that's viewed as better than them. So I think Ben's going to be throwing the ball around a lot.
We don't disagree on this one at all.
Nice.
I
There we
love
go.
Pittsburgh. As I said earlier, guess you didn't catch it. I parlayed Pittsburgh and Miami.
That's right.
It is a 2 underdog team parlay to win. Got plus 500 on that. So I thought, why not? But yes, I love Pittsburgh. I got them at plus 4.5. I got them at plus 4. In some places right now, they are plus 4. But yeah, like you said, it opened at 6.5. So a lot of money's coming in Baltimore, but I'm not scared of it. Baltimore doesn't show up in big games. When is the last big game Baltimore showed up for? They haven't, not one. So give me Pittsburgh all the way. Money line plus 4, plus 4.5, whatever. I love Pittsburgh. And Chase Claypool plus 210 to score a touchdown, as well as Deontay Johnson plus 240 to score a touchdown. They both might not, but one of them will. And those are Ben's top guys. Juju is really number 3 right now in terms of getting the targets. It shows on the stat board. Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh all the way.
Like it. All right, next up, we got Titans -7 at Cincy, over under at 51.5. I love the Titans here. Going to buy it down to 5.5 just to play it safe at -145. Coming off a loss against Pittsburgh, I think they're going to be ready to go. Burrows looked good for Cincinnati, but again, no Joe Mixon for them, which is a big loss. I think Derrick Henry, he has a big day, scoring a touchdown, I think is a lock. It was at -250 to start. It's already now at -310, so probably not worth betting it straight up. You could parlay it or even take the 2 touchdowns at plus 190, which I think is a pretty safe bet. Over under yards is 107.5. I do think he hits 100, but that's kind of a high number to bet on. So again, if you want to just, play it safe, Henry to score, Titans -5.5, you could parlay that for basically 1-to-1 odds. Throw in Jonnu Smith on a touchdown and over 37.5, you get it 7.5 to 1.
I love the Titans in this game. They're in my big parlay as well. I got them at -6.5. And like you said, you could still get it at -6.5 right now in some places, but in some places they're up to 7. This opened at 5.5. So the money's coming on the Titans. I believe they were the 4th most bet on that list that I've seen so far. But hey, I still love the Titans in this one. I love the over in this game. I think it's going to be an aerial assault. Both defenses are really struggling. Give me AJ Brown over 63.5 receiving yards. AJ Green over 49.5 receiving yards. My man Jonnu Smith over 37.5 receiving yards, and Derrick Henry rushing and receiving yards over 116.5. All these are about -110. You can get them on FanDuel. Love them all. Love the Titans -6.5. I think this is easily a high scoring affair. I've got Tennessee 35-28.
I like it. Sharing a brain still. I like it. All right, next up, we got the
scary.
Chargers. I know. Chargers -3 at Denver, over under at 44.5. Chargers are getting healthy. Broncos got some bodies back last week, but still a number of guys that are kind of beat up on their offense. Glasgow, he just went down with COVID. So I'm going to roll with the Chargers here. Herbert, he's been money. I'm just keeping it simple. Chargers -1.5 with the combo over 44.5 points. Parlayed plus 210.
I like Denver plus 3.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Chargers win, but I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 point game. I think this has something 20-17, something like that. Maybe there's a missed extra point, maybe 17-16 written all over it. It's a rivalry game. It's in Denver. I know Denver played poorly last week. That means they're going to come back and play well this week, at least in my opinion. And remember, as much as we all love Justin Herbert, and I do, he's a great quarterback. just as good as Joe Burrow, different quarterbacks entirely, but they're both having phenomenal rookie seasons. Last week was his first win. It's not exactly like he's lighting up the W's. So I think this is going to be a close game. Like I said, I got the Chargers to win on this one. If you like the money line, go with it. But plus 3.5, I'm going with Denver. And like I said, with Justin Herbert, I'm going over 16.5 rushing yards for minus 110. I think that's free money.
Nice play. I like that. All right. Next up, Saints -5.5 at Chicago. Over under at 42.5. I'm waiting to see the actives on this one. Allen Robinson, he's listed as doubtful right now in concussion protocol. Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, among others, are questionable for the Bears. A fully healthy Bears team at home, I would love them in this game. Even without Robinson, if their defense is intact, I could see them covering easily. The Saints are without Mike Thomas. Breeze has not looked, great all year. At this point, with the unquestionable nature of some of the injuries, I'd probably buy the Bears to 7.5 at -170 or 10.5 at -210 in some parlays if you're looking to do that. Not a ton of props I really like here either. Kamara to score at -170. Anthony Miller is kind of interesting at +550 to score, especially if Robinson and Cordell Patterson are both out. But other than that, I'm mostly avoiding this one.
And I like the Bears. I got them at +4.5. In some places, they are up to +5.5 now. So, money is rolling in on the Saints. So, but you know what? I like the Bears on this one. I really do. The Bears and the Broncos are kind of my weird plays of the week, but I really do like the Bears to bounce back and keep this a close game. Michael Thomas is unlikely to play, and if he does out of nowhere, then I don't think he's going to be effective. As for Allen Robinson, I just saw earlier prior to us getting on here, he is now cleared to play. The Bears announced that he will. The Bears themselves announced he will play, which just reaffirms my love for the Bears in this
Feel better
game.
about that now.
Yep, and also Allen Robinson to score +155. I like that one a lot. And as well as Alvin Kamara over 55.5 receiving yards for -110. I think that one's sure to hit because who's Drew going to throw the ball to? He's not throwing it to Taysom Hill, at least not a lot. So throw it to Alvin Kamara, let him do some work out of the backfield, try to utilize, getting away from Khalil Mack as most as you can, get the ball out quick. But I think the Saints win this game, but I think it's a 3 or 4 point game. I really do. I think we got 24-20, something around that written all over it. Bears keep it close.
All right, still sharing a brain. All right, last 4 o'clock game, we got the Niners plus 2.5 at Seattle, over under at 53.5. I love the over here, and surprisingly, I like the Niners still. It's a chance for them to get back in the division. Nice wins over the Pats and the Rams back to back. Seahawks just lost a heartbreaker, blowing that game to the Cardinals, and their D has just been awful. Still might not have Jamal Adams back. He's a game time decision, and all three of Seattle's top running backs are either questionable or doubtful. So just a funny feeling that the Niners, they get the win here. I think it's going to be a big day for George Kittle, over 69.5 yards. Touchdown is almost even at -105. I like both of those. Also for the Niners, Samuel, he's going to be out, so I like Ayuk to go over 56.5 yards. It's tough to figure out their running back situation, though. Coleman, he's possibly coming back. McKinnon's probably going to be the lead back, but you really don't know what Tevin Coleman might do. Either way, I'm rolling with San Fran. You could also buy a point to plus 3.5 if you want to play it safe at -140, but I do think it could be an outright win for the Niners.
A lot of people feel similar to you. Here we're going to disagree again. We disagreed early on. We're disagreeing on this one. Give me Seattle -3. I love Seattle by a touchdown in this one. San Francisco has screwed me the last 2 weeks. They screwed me against the Rams. They screwed me against New England. They've come out of nowhere because I was making money betting against San Francisco earlier on in the season. Now I'm, getting screwed by them. I think I'm going to, get back in my winning ways this week. I think Jamal Adams is going to play. He's up to questionable. I think he's going to play. I think he'll make a difference. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with Seattle. I really don't. New England was a different story. Their offense is in shatters. Seattle is not. Seattle is at home. Give me the Seahawks -3. I think they win by a touchdown. And give me DK Metcalf, 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
Plus 550. Get it, baby. DK Metcalf is going to destroy the San Francisco secondary. Seahawks are back.
I definitely like Metcalf at least scoring 1 touchdown. Almost even odds on that, so I love that.
That as well.
Sunday night, Dallas 10.5 at Philly, over under 42.5. Dallas is just a train wreck right now. Philly's getting some playmakers back. Dallas Goedert, Jalen Reagor should both be playing. Miles Sanders, Alshon Jeffrey, both are likely out. But again, Dallas is a complete mess. Players questioning McCarthy. Defense is one of the worst in football. No Dak, probably no Dalton as well. Offensive line's a mess. I'm going with Philly to win big here. Also give me Wentz over 252.5 yards.
Yeah, I'm going Philly as well here. I got them at 9.5, and I'm glad I did. 10.5 is kind of but Philly -9.5. That's where I have it right now. I think they win by 10, possibly 14. with Tony DiNucci. Hopefully he doesn't screw us, but I don't think he will. I also like Travis Fulgham to score a touchdown plus 145. I think that's free money personally. Like you said, they are getting guys back, but he's really become Carson Wentz's go-to weapon with Ertz out of the lineup and Jackson out of the lineup, and they're not coming back anytime soon. So give me the Eagles minus 9.5. You have to buy it down at this point, but hey, that's all right. You're not losing much money on it.
All right, and the last game we got Monday night, Bucks 12.5 at the Giants, over under at 45. Todd Bowles, Tom Brady returning to MetLife. Tampa D's playing outstanding right now, especially against the run, tops in football. Giants, I just don't think they have any shot here. I'm taking the spread down to 9.5 just to play it safe at minus 145, but I think Tampa wins this game pretty comfortably. Mike Evans plus 120, the prop that I love here. I think great odds for the touchdown. Parlaying both of that, minus 9.5 to win. Mike Evans touchdown, you get it at plus 228.
I love the Bucks here, man. I really do. I think this is a simple win for them. I don't even bet it down to 9.5. You can, and it's probably safer to do it that way. I love them minus 12.5. I think that they win this game by at least 2 touchdowns, more likely 3. The Giants are in shatters. The offensive line is terrible. JPP's coming against Andrew Thomas, and it's going to be a long night for Danny Dimes. And you know what? I love the over in this game too. Tampa Bay has been getting 45 points a game by themselves recently. So why not hit the over in this one? I think this has written all over it, 38-10, 38-14. So give me the Bucks minus 12.5. Give me the over, and give me the Tampa Bay D to score plus 330. Why not? Danny Dimes is a turnover machine. Monday Night Lights. And you know what? Hey, Gronk plus 220 to score. You got to stick with Gronk. He's back, baby. Gronk's back.
I like it. All right, so last segment, any best bets that you have, any parlays that you put together? I'll start it off.
Okay.
I mentioned Raiders 8.5, Packers plus 0.5, and then the Steelers 9.5. The odds boost on FanDuel, you can get a plus 230. I'm also going DraftKings. You get the odds boost. Packers, Titans, Rams, all to win. I know you don't like the Rams, but all 3 of those to win at plus 220. I think great odds there. And then a few other parlays I put together. Packers with the spread, Bills down to 2, Rams down to 2. Over 47 in the Seattle and San Fran game, and then Sam Darnold over on the passing yards, over 203.5. You get 12-1 odds at that. So I put $14, Sam's number, to win $180. Also, so on this one, I kind of mixed in Sam Darnold with the over on the yards, and then Le'Veon Bell scoring a touchdown. I combined it with Carson Wentz with the over on the yards, and then Derrick Henry scoring a touchdown, with Jarvis Landry and T.Y. Hilton both over 4.5 catches. You get that at 25-1. So I put $4 on each of those.
Oh, not bad. I like that one.
Yep.
Well, my best bet parlay of the week, I always do my 14 parlay. The Colts minus 3, Packers minus 6.5, Steelers plus 4, Titans minus 6.5. Get the 20% odds boost on DraftKings this week. That's plus 1,500 odds. Love that as my parlay of the week. Well, again, Colts, Packers, Steelers, Titans. It's going to be a good one. Yep. And my upset bet of the week is Steelers and Dolphins on the money line, plus 655. You get that on DraftKings as well. And then I did an 18 parlay where I bought 6.5 points on everything going on. So it came out to plus 984 odds. It's got 8-game parlay plus 6.5. So it's under 47 in the New England Buffalo game. Titans, Bengals, it's a pick 'em 0. So just the Titans just got to win. Steelers plus 10.5, Dolphins plus 10, Chiefs minus 13, Seahawks plus 3.5, Bears plus 11.5, Eagles minus 4. That's what I did with that one. And then as far as same game parlays, my 2 favorite are the Jets Chiefs. I'm just going to rehash them again because I really like them. The first one is plus 3,000 odds. It's Chiefs minus 9.5, Mahomes over 21.5 rushing, Kelsey to score a touchdown at any time, Hill over 64.5 receiving, Berrios over 38.5 receiving, and Mims over 42.5 receiving. And finally, plus 1,500, again, Jets Chiefs minus 9.5, LaMichael Pirine to score a touchdown, Le'Veon Bell to score a touchdown, and Le'Veon Bell over 41.5 rushing yards.
I'm sharing a brain with you on the same game with the Chiefs and Jets. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game, a lot of touchdowns, and especially for the Jets touchdowns, you mix in guys like Herndon, Berrios, Mims. I mean, you're getting at least 3-1 odds on all them scoring. I think at least 1, if not 2 of those guys score. So you mix them in with guys like Bell. McCole Hardman also has 3-1 odds for a touchdown.
I know you love McCole Hardman. You have talked about him incessantly during this, so I know you want McCole Hardman. So after this, here's what we're going to do. You and I, we're putting out a bet on McCole Hardman. Well,
Let's do it.
absolutely. For the first touchdown of the game, I want to see, well, you know what, because screw it. We want Trevor Lawrence at this point, and we want Adam Gase gone. I want to see first play of the game of Cole Hardman 80 yards down the damn field, and we'll celebrate together.
See, I don't even know if it's worth risking on the first touchdown because he's plus 300
take the kick
to
return
score a
then.
touchdown, period. So if you just take him on the touchdown with the over on yards, which is 29.5 with Watkins out, I think that's a lock. He'll get that on one catch, especially if Desir's covering him. So, I mean, you take those two, take the over in the game, take Le'Veon Bell scoring a touchdown. He's
Absolutely.
getting one. I mean, those are phenomenal odds if you're talking about a same game parlay. So we're definitely putting something in like that.
Absolutely. And you got it. Like I said, parlay of the week, Colts, Titans, Packers. Colts, Titans, Packers, and Steelers. All just regular what their spreads are: -3, -6.5, +4, -6.5. That's my parlay of the week. It's gonna hit. Everybody should play it.
I'm probably gonna play it with you. All right, good talking to you, man. Let's make
All
that
right.
money, and we'll be back next week.
Let's go.